Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Thank you so much for dropping by this video. Uh, I'm excited today. I'm excited to be making this video, but I'm also excited because I'm going to get practical on this video. What to do. For those of you who've been at my channel a while, a lot of it's been critique and theoretical. And today, and I'm going to start focusing more on solution. First critique, then solution. So, uh, I noticed over the years that Neo-Advaita made me worse. And very quickly, what's the definition of Neo-Advaita? Well, my definition is any spiritual teacher who teaches everyone to practice self-inquiry and who just talks on and on and on about your true nature, consciousness this, your true nature, everything's consciousness, you're already free. And that's all that they talk about or teach. This is completely in contradiction to the Bhagavad Gita, to Ramana Maharshi, to Adi Shankara, to Hinduism as a whole. And a lot of my earlier videos are about that, so check it out. So the thing is self-inquiry before you're ready, or non-dual thinking before you're ready, will make you more selfish. It'll make you more focused on yourself. Why is that? Well, first of all, I observed that in myself, and I observed it in other people. I'm like, these people are self-absorbed and not in a spiritual way. And then at a certain point, I realized, oh my God, I've become so selfish and self-absorbed. And it's something I'm still recovering from. The reason, my hypothesis is that self-inquiry before you're ready is spiritual bypass. Let's say you have a negative thought or feeling or a psychological issue. Instead of dealing with it, you just go right to pure consciousness. And you temporarily feel relief. I sure did. Temporarily is the key word. Self-inquiry doesn't resolve deep-seated psychological issues, and it doesn't resolve selfishness. In traditional Advaita Vedanta, selfishness is primarily eliminated before self-inquiry is even begun, before non-dual teachings are even offered. And so basically what happens is the selfishness just gets suppressed. But suppression is actually a fancy word for an addictive behavior suppresses that. Like an alcoholic suppresses their feelings with alcohol. Someone who's not properly prepared for self-inquiry suppresses their ego. And then it gets stronger and comes back. And part of how it gets stronger is then it's like you need self-inquiry more and more and more, not just because out of spiritual interest, but out of addiction, out of this need to suppress all this negativity, which in traditional non-duality would be purified first. So, okay, that's the problem. What's the solution? Back to basics. Well, I'll tell you what's worked for me. And back to basics. You notice I'm wearing this cross today, exploring traditional religious paths. I don't identify as a Christian, by the way. I love this guy. I love Mr. Jesus. He's a friend of mine. There's so much problems in organized religion. We could have a whole YouTube channel about that, right? But there's a lot of wisdom there. Surrender, service, worship, humility, faith, watching your thoughts, thinking good thoughts, doing good deeds, trusting in God. All of these things are fundamental spiritual values that in traditional non-duality, someone would be taught beforehand, because that lays a foundation and it also purifies the personality to prepare for self-inquiry. Some other things I found really helpful are 12-step meetings. though that can be challenging because sometimes it's just people going on and on about their problems, but there's a lot of wisdom to be found. And worship, doing kirtan, doing devotional singing to the divine. And one of the greatest things I've ever found is acts of service, doing things that are helpful for other people. And personally, part of what's helped me recover from fake non-duality is getting in touch with my interests and my passions. We all have a creative side. Some people like to write, some people like to sing, some people like to cook, some people like to garden, some people like to organize. We all have gifts that I believe we're all, how to say it? Well, we all have gifts and creative impulses. And when those aren't put to use, we feel yucky. And see, karma yoga, the karma yoga is more an attitude than an action. It's the attitude of how can I serve God's creation? How can I participate in society in a way that serves and contributes out of service for God? So in our creative talents, I let go of so many of my passions and interests thanks to fake non-duality of like, I am the self. All I want is enlightenment. All I want is the bliss of Brahman. Well, it's very unfulfilling unless you're a monk or a nun, which I'm not, and most people aren't. And just simple things like taking care of the body and, and the service doesn't have to be complicated. Some of the most satisfying service I've ever done, fostering kittens. It's really fun to do. And talk about seeing the purity of the self, looking in a kitten's eyes. Whoa. So those are some of the abstract things I found really helpful. Having a figure that was not directly connected with a non-dual tradition, such as Jesus. Let's see if I have a picture around, not handy. Another one of my teachers, Bruno Gröning, he's not in his body, but a guru who I could mentally connect to, a wise being, and getting humble and asking for help. Because making your way out of the tangled web of fake non-duality is not a simple process. And simple things like prayer, just even asking higher power, asking God for help, asking one of my gurus or guides for help. Life-changing. All these things have been life-saving and life-changing. So hope some of this was helpful. See if there's anything else I want to say. Neo-Advaita is about turning away from life, right? Like, just focus on consciousness. But for most people, that becomes debilitating. It was for me, and I've met many people, and I've then know many people, and I've met many people online who, like, literally debilitating, crippling. People become spiritually crippled and unable to live life because of fake non-duality. And so part of the solution is turning back to life. And it's the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. And I still resist it some days. So if you want to recover from fake non-duality, go walk barefoot in the grass, pick up trash, sing love songs to God, say a prayer, visit a church. You don't have to go during the service. You can just, and finding a support group that, in the 12-step program, there's different 12-step programs, but I found one that suits me. Having a community can be really helpful. So big blessings. I hope you try out some of these practical solutions, things that worked for me. And I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day. Take care.